Hello and welcome to day one. I made a commitment to do 40 days of lives and encouragement, and I really didn't want to come on today, but I am pushing through. And I think the topic that we'll talk about is just confirmation for what today's message is. Where sometimes things can come up, sometimes we can doubt ourselves, sometimes we can feel like we're not qualified, we don't need to show up, God doesn't have anything in store for us, it's for everyone else. And so that's what we're talking about for today, which is day one. And it's not too late. That's what the topic is. And I just want to share a couple of verses with you all to encourage you with this. The first one is Galatians 6 and 9. It's up there as one of my top favorites. But Galatians 6 and 9, it is a great reminder to not grow weary. So oftentimes, like I said, we can feel like we're not qualified, or maybe you made a mistake, or maybe you fell short this morning, this afternoon. I can relate. And I feel like that's when we try to discount ourselves. That's when we try to count ourselves out and just say, you can't be used. God, has nothing for you. You have no purpose, or whatever you may be listening to. But I'm telling you today, my encouragement to you today is that it's not too late. And that verse is Galatians 6:9 is our first one. And it says, and let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up. And a lot of times we hear that and we can think, let's not grow weary because we've been doing everything right. You've been perfect. Don't give up because you've done everything. But another way that I saw that today was, don't grow weary about doing good, because there are times where you will fall short. There are times where you may make mistakes. There are times where you do drop the ball. And even in those times, don't grow weary and think that it's too late for you to do good. Don't grow weary and think that it's too late for you to pick it back up and keep going. And so then that takes us to our other verse that I thought about, or that came to mind today. And that one is Psalm 103. And it starts at verse 12 through 13. As far as the east is from the west, so far does he remove our transgressions from us. As a father shows compassion to his children, so the Lord shows compassion to those who fear him. And so sometimes we can think that things are just 100% our own might, our own willpower, how much we can show up, how perfect we can be. But when we do that, you're edging God out. And even when I say that, edging God out, I don't remember where I heard it from, but the whole idea of ego is edging God out, where we think that we have so much in ourselves that we don't need God, we don't need forgiveness, we don't need these moments. And I'm telling you today that it's not too late, because for many of you, like I said, you may have counted yourself out. You may have thought that you're not qualified, or God can't use you. And we see even in Psalm 103, verse 12 through 14, is just a reminder of that. Oh, well, 12 through 13. And then the other verse that stood out to me was 1 Samuel 15:22. And it says, has the Lord as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of the Lord? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to listen than the fat of rams. And this part came where Saul was, I won't say he was bragging, but Saul was like, I did everything right. We did what we were supposed to do. And then there was just this one little thing where they were, basically taking back spoils that they weren't supposed to have. So it's like, I'm doing this thing. I'm being blatantly disobedient to you, Lord, but I need you to bless this. We're submitting this thing to you. We're sacrificing this thing to you that you've already shown us we weren't even supposed to have. And so that was just another reminder that your obedience is so important. And as I shared with you today, I did not, I really had to fight to just show up. And sometimes we do. Sometimes we have challenges that come our way. Sometimes you feel like giving up. Sometimes you feel like you're not qualified. Sometimes you may feel like you've already missed the mark. You're too old, or you're too young, or you're too this, or you're too that. But when God is calling you to something, the best thing that you can do is be obedient to it, even when you don't understand fully why you're being called in that way, or why you're being told to surrender something. Maybe it's something that doesn't even trip other people up, but God is telling you to release it. He's telling you to let it go. And that's just my encouragement to you today. And those are the three verses. These won't be long, or I don't know how long they'll be. I'll just continue to show up as I feel led. But today is day one. And again, my reminder to you is that it's not too late. And if you want to get connected with me, if you want to learn more about these 40 days of breakthrough, go to ericalatrice.com. Join my list. I'll be sending out encouraging messages each day. And I'm about 14 hours, just being transparent. I'm about 14 hours late on day one, but I knew I just could not let the day pass and give up and grow weary. I just knew I couldn't do that. So that's why I wanted to continue to just at least, kickstart this and keep going and just show up. And I know if this is meant for you, if this encourages you, tell someone, tag someone. And if you have some thoughts or feedback or things that have been coming to mind for you in this season in your life, feel free to share it because you never know who else it may encourage. So I will see you all on tomorrow, and that will be day 2. And we'll talk about whatever tomorrow's topic is for the day. Take care.